the death of democracy.
America is more a question of a condition that we are positioned into right now. This statement of New Atlantis, or if you want, a continent that will give us new hopes and everything connected with prosperity in the world, has been giving us an illusion almost a century ago. And we are all taken into this dream fantasy that being in the state of America, all that is decadent and old and cheap in a way will disappear. All our troubles were primarily connected with institutions like church or different type of religious madness back in Europe in the old days. All of us, people that share common ideas, were deeply influenced by this concept of freedom radiating out of that new continent. Our deep hopes and beliefs within that locked system, which we call it today America, was created in our minds. It's like somebody who's been oppressed for so many years and suddenly he think of some type of utopia or paradise somewhere on the planet Earth, which in case we know there's no such a thing. There's no such a thing as a heaven on the earth. It's a similar thing like somebody imagined that there is something like hell for those who are sinners. Actually, there's no hell. If we think about hell, it must be over here, on the earth. So, as we were expanding our minds, and as the technical development has been more and more advancing, we have come to a certain point which we call it America. America, it's like a small baby created out of our dreams. We have dreamt this baby completely liberated of all these previous conditions applied on all humans back in the old countries, old continents like Europe, Asia, and all these different places where religion and institutions connected with the imperial dogma and one ruler system were applying mostly on the whole humanity actually. Everything was concentrated on one throne, on a pedestal, where we have the Caesar, or the king, or the pharaoh if you want. In that case, religion was just a right hand for the emperor. Now, what is moral lately? Can you tell me what is moral lately? What is immoral? According to what? Who is giving those premises? We know that there are simple laws of the universe. You don't have to be a religious to practice those laws. And should I sin now? And if I sin, I will wait for punishment from God. There's not such a thing as punishment. God never punishes. There has never been a punishment from God, because God just simply don't deal with those things. There's nothing like Supreme Court or something like that. It's so untasteful to say something like that God, at the end, will punish. Who has been punished on this planet? There have been so many atrocities, so many murders, crimes, since the beginning of mankind. And everybody's talking about these punishments. Punishments for this, for that, for being ugly, for being rude, for being tall, for being short, for being fat, for being miserable, for being psycho, you name it. There's millions of reasons why somebody should be punished. Same way, like there's millions of reasons why somebody should not be punished. It is all in the perception of somebody's mind. Human mind is designed in that direction that can always attack on a certain topics. It's always these states of consciousness that want to produce more validity on one side and take the occasion to disapprove the other side. And this is only, like I said previously, this is only the question of sexuality, you know. The essence of this misery lies deep down there, in the differences of the poles, in this plus and minus theory. Why I'm saying this? It's not that I want to emphasize the projection of male over female or dominance, vice versa. It's just the way the things are. We cannot change these laws. This has been designated from the higher forces, and that's how it is. That's how all things are functioning all around us in the universe. It's just so normal. Plus, minus, minus, plus. Connection is here, so Big Bang, and that's what's going on. Boom! A new universe appears, just in front of our own eyes. It's so traumatic to be born on this planet. Why? Because of this moral sense and moral obligations that have been given to us in order to protect people on the throne. This is the only reason why we have been taught all these years on some values that actually don't have any point at all. Why I'm telling this right now? I mean, am I against the humanity or systems on this planet, or am I an anarchist? No, not really. Actually, I'm thinking right in the center of the system, because more we see lately and more we can recognize all these things and informations coming toward us via internet and all this knowledge that has been presented to us, suddenly doesn't have sense at all. What do we do with all this knowledge, with all this that has been produced over centuries? How can we afford to spill it in our minds, but not just like a result of some empty information or cognitive speculation, but more in sense that we can implement it directly in communication and synchronization of the whole society. Because problems are here every day. Every day you'll see some weirdo religious groupation doing some crazy attack somewhere in the world. What is the reason for it? There's no more jobs. People are on the street, hungry. They see all this craziness from one side, all these modern technologies, all these theatrical, porno-theatrical presentations of some ideal society, which is actually a fiction. It's an American dream that has never been implemented, actually. America is just a fiction, sort of a place that we all want to feel in our lives, liberated from our trauma and free of any consequences. You know, we talk in America, you know, America is a symbol for free living. But actually there's nothing like it, you know, there's no free living. First of all, we are not born free. We didn't decide to get born on this planet. So I want to formulate this word, freedom. What is actually freedom? Freedom is a state of non-existence. Freedom is just a feeling in ourselves. Nobody expects nothing in freedom. Everything should be taken care of itself. in freedom. We should be able to do different things in freedom, everything connected with whatever we can imagine, but yet we cannot do nothing about it, because even if we enter this condition of freedom, we will, of course, on the other side, hurt somebody. There's no balance in freedom. If it was only one on the earth, even in that case, he wouldn't be free. So mainly talking about freedom and make a parallel between the American dream, this fabulous story of good living and different dimensions of free life or individuality. Actually, it's just an outdated story. What is the point of the intellect when in the next minute you can find yourself out on the streets without any security, without food, without shelter, without everything that you have been working so hard in your life? We know that these capitalistic societies can be very harmful to individual when it comes to free thinking and everything connected with it. Who are the actual free thinkers of the Western societies? Mainly they are people that they do all these talk shows around, like myself right now. I'm sitting over here and talking in front of you, but actually what I talk is what you know and what is my courage. What I'm brave to do is just to expose a small part of your life and just to share this feeling that we should believe in some better ideal society somewhere on the planet, or some state in which we all can do some good work for the rest of the humankind. But then you know that there ain't no thing as doing good for somebody if it's not paid. So am I lying to you right now? Am I just standing over here talking about all these necessities, but in fact I'm just a small philosophical gigolo in a way. I'm jiggling with your mind because I ain't got nothing better to do. I have been disabled. I'm maybe physically not proper to work 24 hours in some factory, or I don't know, sit on a computer and do these accounting jobs that you offer, or whatever is connected with some intellectual or manual work, or whatever it is, you know. Everything that we do on this planet is actually sin. There's no such a thing as work. Human is not designed to work. Nobody on this planet works. This is just one of the absurds that we keep hearing all the time. You know, slogans like Arbeit macht Mann and things with similar essence. These slogans were used in concentration camps, so to say. So what are we today? We are some entities that are sentenced on work. For what reason? Nobody knows. No one can tell you. If you talk with the ordinary person, he will tell you that work is what makes man, which is pretty much not very clever explanation. There ain't no such a thing as work makes man. It's more opposite, it's follows makes man. We all know that. This is something like this old story that babies were brought by the storks, or, you know, we used to tell to our children about how man is created. There's only side effects from our work. What we people are producing on this planet is mainly garbage. Only side effects. Let me go a little bit earlier, or if you want, back in history. Think about Eden, for example. Do they work over there? It's mainly this mad projection of humans' minds, so they can be occupied all the time doing different types of things, because we're not evolved on a similar way. You know, some people, they want to do good things, and the rest of them, they want to do bad things. It's always about good and bad, evil and good, however you want to name it. Destruction and construction. It's all about these two forces in the universe, and they will be omnipresent until the end of the ends. There's nothing to do about it. This is more the question of regeneration and the question of recreation of the whole universe, evil and good. So let me finish now with what I have started. This is what is it. That's what actually represents America. It's a question of evil and good. We don't have to despair that the concept of what we have imagined a long time ago has failed. Will arise again and again. New Atlantis will always be present in our minds, because somewhere in our corner we all recognize something which is essentially good, something that comes from the center of our soul, because though we all know that our soul is eternal, and that's what we do, we pray only for our souls. Thank you.